They just don't want to be forced to marry the hairy next door neighbor at the age of 12. So it just shows you the complete lack of self-awareness.
Absolutely, and I've got a feeling that we're not going to hear any of those issues you mentioned raised. The treatment meted out to young girls, the child brides, all of that. I can't imagine it's going to be something that Meghan is going to be advocating.
Every time Meghan Markle opens her mouth, she wants to remind us that she's a feminist.
Yes.
And aside from the poverty that Nigeria is dealing with, there are severe cases of violence against women and girls. With Meghan Markle, you're supposed to be this feminist and the queen of the world.
Right.
Why aren't you telling them that they need to stop mutilating young girls?
Yes.
And stop forcing young women to marry their creepy neighbors when they're 12 years old? Wouldn't that make more of an impact?
This is why people need to stop and leave these people alone. Because in the end, you're going to look like the fool.
I started my activism at the age of 14, the same year that the Chibok girls were abducted. There's so many challenges that children and girls face here in Nigeria. There's child marriage. We have one of the highest numbers of out-of-school children. We have one of the highest numbers of zero-dose children that are not immunized.
I don't like telling people to shut up, but sometimes just sitting back, zipping this, and listening and watching and waiting, it'll pay off. I don't know how they thought that with Meghan in particular, her history with women and children, how did they think that this wouldn't be something that she would try to bring light to or bring attention to? And this is a tactic that a lot of these journalists do, is that they don't have any real connections to Meghan and Harry's bubble. So what they do is they either speculate or they fish for things and create this false rage or false outcry from the public, or social media rather, so they can put a fire to Harry and Meghan's feet so some way they may or may not respond. When you have a lack of diversity with just the thoughts in mind, this is what you get. You get these people who thought that Meghan and Harry are supposed to go to Nigeria and just focus on what we've always seen. They wanted to put a spotlight on some of the good things that's going on in Nigeria and show Nigeria in a different spotlight. But also, because a lot of people feel like you can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. Guess what? You can. And sometimes you as viewers, when I tell you this, sometimes you can't just blame the journalists. You have to call out some of these editors, and you have to call out the people in charge of these companies, these publications, because they're the ones who's making these final decisions. And you have to remember that a lot of these people, these journalists, have people to feed, and they have to pay their bills just like the rest of us. And a lot of them is not making what you think they are. Just food for thought. And guys, if you enjoy my content, please make sure that you give me a follow, like, repost, share this video, and leave a comment. I would love to know what you think.